dabba ding dong. Welcome all. Man, it's good to be back. Holy moly. I have wounds from my crown of thorns here. Uh I have been punished severely by Yahweh. Some of you know him as other names. Really I think it was started when the the chat crew started yelling blasphemy. People don't understand how powerful their beliefs are. Technology of belief, right? People don't understand, and we get scared. We get scared about these things, and we're like, how can I be this powerful? How is this possible? Chaka scared. Chaka say, me no like no power, too much power. Me say blasphemy. Me gather sticks and beat others for gathering sticks on Sunday. Me drown 42 children. Me Chaka. It's good to be back. I've got internet this morning at 8 a.m. It was wonderful. Day 5 without internet was a lot easier. Day 4 was like, what? Who am I? Why am I here? What should I be doing with my life? That's where I was on day 4. Day 3 was about the same. Day 2 wasn't so bad. I've been productive though during the whole thing, and part of these wounds right here are I was putting in this door right behind me. There's a door now. Yeah, here's a door. And I have this paper over it just because the glare just throws off everything. See how much darker it gets? There's a door. There's no, I don't have doorknobs or anything fancy like that. But anyway, when you pull off a door, I'm not muted, am I? Thank God. Oh, God. It's like such a retard on radio last night. The door is easy. You know what's hard is that you have to break everything to access the door. The ceiling molding, the floor molding, the paneling, the wall itself, your electrical outlets, right? It's a lot of stuff. The actual door part is super easy. Super easy. And yeah. And it was raining the whole time. But I couldn't really finish the deck out there until I had a door. And to North Door, thank you for noticing, E. North Door in the Catholic Church tradition is the witch's door. That's why you'll see most of your Gothic cathedrals will not have a North Door, or they will. That's even cooler. Or they will, but it'll be like a blood red, and it'll be on like the 3rd floor or something strange. And I don't think that even has to be consciously built in. A lot of the truthers are like, well, yeah, consciously the dudes in charge consciously make these choices and they place all these clues, and I think that's kind of a lame. Things never happen that way. No. The most powerful magical things happen instantly. It's been so long for most of us, we forget the bravery of a kiss. Going in for the very first time to kiss a woman. That is a permissionless quest. It's permissionless. You could certainly say that there's underlying thoughts. You're really testing your telepathy, your empathy, and you're like, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. I really want to kiss her. I want to kiss her so bad that I'm going to overcome this resistance, this urge. I'm going to break this yoke and go for it. And that is completely antithetical to everything that we are even teaching kids right now. This is all about consent now. This is a contractual, habitual, tangible, fungible consent. A token that must be exchanged first. which removes the entire element of jumping the cliff. You young budding boys are not jumping the cliff to kiss young budding girls now. Young budding boys are extending a consent request. Reply. Why reply? Because of how we've decided to flip the genders. The girl now solicits I would entertain a request for consent chit from you. Chit, that's you guys probably don't know that word chit, but I would request I would entertain your consent request right now. And then the boy would open his app and say, you have a consent request. But it wouldn't be a boy. It'd be this weird, what are we calling him now? Whatever. But the consent request is received. It's processed. The fastest boy, the first boy to reply to the consent request, automatically gets extra chit points on her end. She sees an eagerness graph. I'm not muted. She sees an eagerness graph muted next to every boy that replies, and the replies are just like on social media. It's by who was there first, and some of these boys have chosen to make their request for a kiss public, which means that they are putting more at risk because their reputation's going on the line, because they're willing to let the entire public know that they want to kiss her, which ups her score when it comes to the amount of people the algorithm tracks. How many boys replied? What was their timing? What was the average response time to this? And then that girl will end up cutting herself. She will cut herself to inflict pain, to make her feel alive, because no boy could ever and will ever be able to jump the cliff and reach in with his genitals, his lips, and exchange the moistness. That exchange is done. We are changing that whole system. Chaka say too scared. Chaka say, me too scared. Me too scared. Sleestack get Chaka. Chaka not understand Sleestack. And that's where we are. That's not where we are, but that's certainly a lot of what's going on around there, right? Man, I remember oh God. I remember how much thought I put into the whole, gosh, is now the right time? Could you seriously be, God, look at her lips. They're so wet. They're shiny. Oh my God. You could touch that with your lips if you have the electricity. I wonder how close I could get without actually touching the lips, right? I wonder how close I could get. Oh my God. And then when you start to move the bases, when you're exploring the bases, right? First base, second base. Oh my gosh. The implications, the contemplation, the fabric involved, the technology of clasps and straps, the wondering what that extra fleshy meat might like, and how do I touch it? Do I grab it? Do I squeeze it? Do I twist it? Do I stroke it? Do I levitate? across the bumps. The amount of thought that I've put into the side boob, the under boob, the center cut, the loin of the breast on top, the tender curve of the pearl drop. These, do you understand how saturated witness is around these shapes? And all of these shapes are built on the electricity of shame, acceptance, risk, and quest. It is just a fascinatingly beautiful world, and we've staple gunned it in every place we can because Chaka's scared. Chaka go, oh, me no want to take chance. Girl think Chaka have too much forehead. Girl reject Chaka, so why Chaka try? Why Chaka try? It's apocalypse ever. That's great, Married Moth. FYI, the very first person I contacted to say Monday I can't do a show was Married Moth, but because I didn't have internet, there's no way that the Twitter message would go through. Twitter would show me the message, it would let me type it, but it would not actually send. And anyway, why do we French? Oh gosh, and then French kiss. Oh, Simon 33. I do love the side boob. I do. I love the levitation. My favorite way to touch a breast has a levitation and an accidental. So it's not like I'm trying to send the idea that it was an accident, but what I mean is that you can gracefully skim across a pond as if your fingers were dangling from the edge of the canoe, and that morning light upon the water that's never been disturbed all of a sudden finds that your fingers are carving it like the most delicate knife. And at no point in time does the water even know if it was something that you were consciously trying to do, because it feels like something that just happened. That is my favorite way to touch a breast. It carries with it this kind of destiny, which I think adds to the piloelectricity. Do you understand that it's full of pores? And out of these pores are these spires, these antennae, these follicles of hair. The hair on a woman's breast is divine. It's like a buck silk. It's like the silk on the horns of antlers. And that piloelectric silk is reading and interpreting not just the world, but the intention above the static field outside the fingers of a touch. And you and I call that anticipation. That's what we call it. But anticipation is touch. Anticipation is a form of touching. When you anticipate, it is because that thing that you anticipate is touching you. That's what causes you to anticipate. These are the delicate layers. These are the delicate electric layers that Chaka tries to understand. Chaka likes side boob. Chaka get in touch with inner sleestack. Chaka find inner sleestack. Help Chaka navigate dark cave. Chaka mind more side boob. Chaka mined more side boob with help of Sleestack. Right? The intricacies and the risk. The risk is the cavern. Do you understand? The risk is the cavern. And our boys are not allowed to spelunk. Our boys are wearing skinny jeans. They can't wear boots. They can't do that. And the woman knows instantly, the woman knows the level of Chaka the moment Chaka touches her breast. Ladies, back me up here. You know the moment that boy touches your boob, you know everything you know about him that you need to know about him. You see his entire totem pole. You see the entire level of where Chaka is the moment he touches your boob. Your boob is this parabola dish, this radio telescope that's pinging the outer edges of this little boy's universe, and you know more about him than Chaka knows about himself. Why? Because you have the reception from that boob. Thank you, Chelsea. Your vulva is the exact same way. Your collarbone, your wrist, the small of your ears, every part of you is this sensing, this Chaka sensing. It sees Chaka. It sees Chaka's fear of Sleestack. It sees the disconnection between Chaka and Sleestack because it grabs your boob. It doesn't touch it. We are always changing the fashion of our attraction for each other. And there's the fashion that changes as women and men reinvent themselves is necessary for the sprout to grow, right? Speaking of Trinity, the beans climb the squash, which climbs the corn. I think that's how it goes. That those are trellising. And most of Chaka, remember there's women Chaka too, right? There's women Chaka too. And that each of us trellis on each other. When I touch a boob, I know they're Chaka too. It's a empathic, decrypted look inside our shame, inside the very shame of what makes us feel naked. When you kiss, when your genitals meet, this is why they wear masks, because they don't want their genitals to show. These are genitals. It's not making that up. That's not a James truism. Your entire mucous membrane from your lips to your lips, right? That is a living finger, time finger, that's touching everything that you place in your mouth, including someone else's genitals. And so when you see someone else's genitals, you are seeing inside of their shame bubble the very electrical suit that they wear to survive, and you are playing with the nebulous membrane of what that is. You are penetrating, and you are penetrated. It's a coaxial connection, the same as when Yahweh sent his lightning down my coax cable. Not the power, because Yahweh knew James has powered. Yahweh knew Chaka James has APC drive. APC means battery runs computer, not electrical to house. But Chaka have no way of filtering the coax cable. So Yahweh comes through coax cable and fries Chaka's modem. Chaka modem dead. Chaka router dead. Chaka called Spectrum Chakas to come to Chaka's house. Chaka's house, 10:30 at night. Chakas gather and push buttons, gather sticks to open Chaka's chakra and have internet again. Yahweh knows, right? Yahweh knows. Okay, no context. We'll start at the beginning. Hugh, if you're never going to get it from start at the beginning. Just want to save you some time. Guys, I don't have I sort of do. I did prepare some Chaka thoughts here, though. There's wisdom of the Chaka. And part of Chaka needs Sleestack. And Sleestack needs Chaka. Sleestack thinks Chaka is enemy. Chaka thinks Sleestack is enemy. And what is this Trinity? What is this Trinity? You have two eyes. But before those two eyes work, you have another. You have a first eye. Your Sleestack sees all. Your Sleestack is subterranean. Your Sleestack says, when all is darkness, we will rule the world. What does that mean? When all is darkness, we see more than everyone else does. That's what that means. But when Chaka fears Sleestack, Chaka has to say that, no, Sleestack says, I want to control world. Therefore, we bring darkness to all world. But that's not actually what Sleestack said. Sleestack says, if all is darkness, Sleestack is all powerful. Chaka says, if all world is light, Chaka is all powerful. So what is the problem here? Right? This is the magic between these two. I don't want to get rid of it. I think shame is a necessary hermetical initiation. I think that the fear it takes for a little boy to dive that chasm to go in for the kiss is exactly what's required for her to feel like a princess. For her to feel the emotional value of that pollen requires that risk being laid at her feet. You can't do that in skinny jeans. You can't. You might as well wear stirrup pants. Right? Boys in yoga pants. Sending requests as fast as they can because they were the very first one and they had the highest rating. As other people guessed, would she or would she not consider you in her top 5? Would you receive the digital rose and come back the next day? And, you know, it's not even as pathetic as you think it is. It's just easier for us to judge it as pathetic. The same way we would say that that anyone that takes a selfie is a bad person. But that's actually not true. In fact, anyone that's suffering with esteem would find the selfie to be a really valuable technology where they're suddenly seeing the value of their esteem. Chaka cannot live in a world where he hate technology. Chaka hate all technology. All technology cause skinny jeans. Technology reason for problem in world. We go back to putting poop in hole with stick. Chaka say that fix it. And that doesn't fix it. Doesn't fix it. A, it's not broken. B, it's the posture that needs adjusting. And the need is purely for more light because you find that need to not adjust. Do you guys realize that a black panther is a jaguar that's the opposite of an albinist, a melanist? Right? We've talked about the albino. Their lack of melanin gives them a tendency to have some schizophrenic tendencies because they're reading too much reality. And what we call the Black Panther is simply a jaguar who has the opposite. It's embracing this darkness. It's embracing this idea that it can take all the light away from you. And we fear the jaguar, we fear the panther. And it's also attracting us with the very thing that we need. It's bridging this gap between Sleestap and Chakra. And it will always be scary because the kiss is always worth it. Living in the jungle is always worth it. Every time. Alexander, what is a Sleestak? What the hell is going on here? Says Alexander. Everything makes sense except what is Chaka's Sleestak? What is going on? And what does Chaka think? Chaka afraid of Sleestak. Sleestak too wild. Sleestak need tunic. Sleestak becomes civilized in tunic. Chaka feels safer when Sleestak civilized. Until this happens, Chaka living in past. Chaka from Land of Lost. Chaka like Alexander in Land of Lost right now. Who is Chaka? What the fuck is a Chaka? Is it like a Chewbacca with Down syndrome? It's like, yeah, it's basically what Chaka is. This all of these things require the dilation. All of this require this fear. It's a basic chemical in all of these things. We require these things. Oh, that's a good answer, Chaka. Chaka not afraid to be lost. He fine. That's good. That's perfect. That's exactly right, Alexander. Chaka not lost. Chaka embrace not knowing. Chaka have flow state. Chaka is the living embodiment of not knowing. So much great stuff here. There really is. It's great. It's a lot of stuff. So, anyway, it looks like the stream's working. That's great. I sort of wanted to use this as a test. I have doing a recording today with another awesome name. Shout out to Rose. Thank you for hooking that up. And I'll tell you about that as soon as it's ready to be talked about. And I actually have a profound show that I'm working on, but because the internet wasn't letting me do create the slides that I needed to, so I almost had that ready today, but I can't rush it. So I'm looking forward to bringing that to you on Friday. And due to the problems with me communicating, I need you to know that if any kind of app that's been on a cell phone, like Telegram's one, Twitter was one. Anything that was running through the cell phone just didn't work. So I Friday when I announced how it feels so great to be caught up on correspondence and to have a normal regular day, all that's starting over now. But I'm only 5 days behind, so that's where it's going now. That's where it's at right now. I encourage anyone who's interested more in what we're talking about here to consider the radio show last night. Talked a little bit more about these these concepts. Today is National Tarot Day, which is really kind of weird that Microsoft and Google are both want you to know that. Has anyone else noticed that? Has anyone else been told that? I'm sorry, no, Microsoft is now telling me it's Africa Day. They just changed that. I think it was Google that was saying Tarot Day. So it's an interesting time to be looking at the high magic, right? How's the new deck coming? What a great question for AMA. It's going pretty great. Yeah. The door was probably wasn't actually the door. It was the molding that was probably the hardest part. Let's see. There's a beech tree. What else we got there? There we go. Let's see. There's the deck right there. I think if I put that there, it'll kind of focus on there. There's the deck right there. I don't have handrail is up yet. I've got one handrail up. Yeah, it's finally a nice day. It's been very it's been really crappy weather. I've really hated it. Not only have I not had the internet, but it's been gray, and when it's gray and rainy, it challenges me. We live on a mountain. I live on a mountain, and the clouds come and kind of linger. It's a former theme park here, Land of Oz. It gets really kind of tied in like that. You have to really have a strong sense of self when that happens. Yeah. So it's been kind of just like raining off and on all the time. But everything's going great. The deck's going great. This door, probably a mistake to buy this one. I know, right? We saw a fox right out here, James. I think a meth addict might have sold me this door. This is all in hindsight. We won't even go into that because I still don't know the details of that deal. But it's a Craigslist door. Kind of running out of money here. Needed to. I didn't want to spend money on a new door. So, but yeah, most of the hard stuff. Like I even got the trim in, guys. I even got the trim in around the door. See, here's new trim, right? No, here's new trim right there, right? You can see all the holes where I kind of destroyed the old. And you can't tell right now, but the color's not right. The wall color, it's not the same. So got to do the whole room, which is interesting. Yeah, Chaka. No, this dude was less than Chaka. This was a sub Chaka dude. Yeah, this was like Chaka's really, really downtrodden friend. But yeah, my house is a beloved crack baby. I'd say that. Well, thank you, Zark. Look at that, getting my doorknob funds up. I need 2 doorknobs, by the way. I used to have an open door policy, I should say. I haven't had a key to my house in a long time. And I used to think that I was cool and hip for that. I actually think that was me playing that, oh, I'm an empath. I'm so trusting that I don't have keys to my house, and it used to make me feel good, and now it kind of disgusts me a little bit. Isn't that an interesting evolution? But I feel like it was me trying to feign worthlessness as feeling worthless as I have no boundaries. Empaths do that. They lie to themselves like that. They create these situations like that. It's really kind of sick as you really start to get to know your inner slee stack and your Chaka, right? Interesting, Chaka Khan, right? Chaka Khan. Khan is the god of Chaka. Do you understand that the singer Chaka Khan is basically claiming I am Chaka's god? Isn't that interesting? So, if you practice the Alexander technique for James, it's really important to have all your toes touching the floor. Otherwise, you may as well not do it. Consciously keeping your... Oh, nice. Yeah. I actually have some work to do about... Oh, shit! There went a bunch of screws. I'll get that later. Yeah, those are the remainder of the deck screws. I'm also almost out of deck screws. That's another reason why I didn't finish all this. But I don't believe that anymore. I think I think your door should have locks. It's actually a sign of a good, healthy boundary. And yeah, I'll yeah, help James get a new knob. James doesn't have no knobs. He needs 2 knobs. I want to run my fingers over both knobs. So yeah, all kinds of jokes here and all that stuff. Yeah, Doe was right. But this is like the least of. Oh my God, when these things happen was pulling the paneling off this door, and it kind of smacked me right in the face. Yeah, it was fun. Look, you can see out through the hole right there. There it is. So I know there's always more work to do, but it's really getting there. Boat decks are done. You can stand on boat decks. I feel really good. Just need some rails back here, and yeah. Let me see. Kind of running out of things to talk about. Sorry, guys, but I really just wanted to make sure this worked because I got an interview, and I can't wait to show you this new show on Friday. I don't keep a new passcode on my phone either. But when you sleep at night, neither you nor I put our cell phones outside, do we? Right? Like they're sort of like it's always on our person, if that makes sense, you know? James, when Chaka sees a family he knows being very hygienic with each other, and oh, this looks interesting. Question, James, when Chaka sees a family he knows being very hyena with each other, and yet sees lion anticipation possibilities with one of the adult children, well, that's a deep thought there. And yet sees lion with one of the adult children. I think you're asking with one of the adult children. I don't get the adult children part. Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding that. That's the part. You guys read Free Play Tom's comment and comment as you see fit. I love these questions though. Things like this make you think, which brings in that inner Chaka. There's your Trinity, though. By the way, those are 3 eyes, right? Chakas and Sleestack. Those are your 3 eyes. There's your Trinity right there. For your daughter's hand in marriage, I will grow up as a Chaka. Yeah, Chaka Khan would be the king of Chakas. Are you a Chaka Khan or a Chaka Khan? Yeah, it could be. One of the children of the family of 4. Yeah, so we got in a huge kind of debate about this last week, I think, on Dojo, where we're debating on whether or not it's compassionate to be impolite, whether or not it's kind to not say something. And I the arguments on there are very dilating and agitating at the same time. A lion's going to respond differently. A giraffe's going to respond differently. A hyena's going to respond differently. And I think a lot of us think that it's moral to change our face and behave as the person that we're talking to, or try and compassionate how they would respond and do it from there. That's one way of living. Another way is just authentically just being what you feel like you are. A lion has more budget, and so the morality for a lion would be greater than the morality for a giraffe. A giraffe definitely has a moral budget, but it can't exercise the same mane as the lion can. It's an expenditure. We mine morality. We don't get credit for it because we held the right pose. There's not a PCR to tell you whether or not you are moral, right? We each bring different kinds of power, just like Chaka. Chaka utilizes white belt and yellow belt effectively to navigate his world. The white belt gets Chaka out of trouble more than Chaka ever even knows. Why? Because Chaka is using white belt. Question: how does rubbing closed eyes to induce visual interact with the amygdala, eye of Ra concept? When you rub your eyes, when you press on your eye, you are releasing the pressure of your polyvagus. That's actually why people push their eyes like that. When they're stressed out, you push your eyeballs in, and you are relieving the pressure of your polyvagus. It's a technique to relax that thing. When I was a kid, I would rub my eyes and enjoy the visual trip of traveling through these lights and through these events, and it felt like I was broadcasting myself through like this root structure, like of trees, but they were probably my blood vessels, and I would just keep going and going and going, and I would tell myself, keep going, and then I would tell myself, but you're destroying your eyes, and I'd be like, but I have to be able to see, and then it was always this really interesting struggle for me, because I had also told myself I was destroying my eyes. Do you understand? I was creating the exact same structure as going in for the kiss. I was creating the exact same structure for slipping my hand underneath that sweater. You're creating the danger. You're creating the risk, which mines, not just like morality causes calories, so does magic. And you will only find these experiences, these kinds of flow state is going to be a function, whether you like it or not, of risk. It's going to be a function, whether you like it or not, of sacrifice. Risk is a sacrifice, isn't it? It's a controlled, combustible exchange of sacrifice. The very first time you realized that gasoline exploded, you were very Chaka about it. You were like, oh, Chaka covered in hair. Explosion dangerous. Chaka not like danger. Chaka no like burn or gasoline. Gasoline bad. Chaka learned to put fire inside metal chamber with metal piston. Chaka learned only after thousands and thousands of explosions that Chaka's safe on outside of piston. Chaka strap his genitals on top of that piston, go 55 miles an hour down road on motorcycle. Chaka not afraid. Risk change. Chaka lose reward for riding motorcycle the very first time. The very first time Chaka rode a piston, Chaka was never as alive as he's ever been during that first time. You can't help it because of the dilation. You can't help it. It's a beautiful dance, isn't it? What we do to ourselves, what we do to each other inside this global market of technology, of belief technology. I think the thing that fools you the most about what reality is pretending that you're seeing things out of your eyes. Why would it? Do you know why? Do you know why your eyes are so elaborate? Do you know why that they crisscross the occipital lobe in the back, renders it, and then passes through the amygdala? The wires have this crisscross. The arteries flip. Right side of your brain's processing, left eye is processing the right actions of your body. All those things. Have you ever thought about why all that's so complex? You might think, well, it's required in us to see the world, and that's what Chaka thinks. Chaka thinks eyes technologically evolve from worm sight. Worm sight grow into human eye. Chaka see world now. And that's exactly what the child says when he's in Walt Disney World. When he goes to Space Mountain, and he waits in line, and he sits down, they strap him in to what he thinks is a spaceship. And there's no vacuum in space. There's not even a seal separating that child from the lights, from the sounds of his ride. And the child doesn't ask, wait a minute, there's no sound in space. How come there's explosions? Child doesn't ask that. Chaka doesn't ask that. All of those equipment, all those hydraulics, all the tracks, the car, the pneumatic opening bumpers that keep you in line, all that is to make you believe it's real. And when we dissect each other after we've died, we see all this hardware, and it makes us believe that this is how it works. But it can't work this way, and I've already explained that to you in the Eye of Ra. Even looking at the base root of how your fingers are sending data after your toes, and how there's no universal logging of which signal came first. And that as you grow themselves, the nerves would have no way of even conveying to you where this came from. How and what we perceive as the world, we thinking like Chaka think. And it's completely backwards. And quantum entanglement proves it. Second sight proves it. Blind sight proves it. ESP proves it. The gut feeling you have when someone's thinking about you proves it. It proves it all, but we are comfortable as Chaka. We are comfortable as Chaka because we do not want to start to like Sleestack. Being afraid of Sleestack makes Chaka feel alive. We have benefits. This is a comfort movement. We have benefits through thinking like Chaka. Chaka blame all life problems on Luciferians. Chaka uncover Luciferian agenda. Everyone tried to lie to Chaka because Chaka too smart. Chaka so smart, entire world have to collaborate to lie to Chaka. No one in world wants Chaka to rise up. No one in world wants Chaka to grow. And that's how Chaka fears the Sleestack. He has to see the world as it's out to get him. All Sleestack said is, if you would stop focusing on your fucking eyes, you'd understand that you can see everything. We see everything, Chaka, when you stop looking out of your eyes. Chaka say, no, me no like darkness. Me no accept theory. Me want insurance. Me want credentialed system. Me want bureaucratic conglomeration of majority rule. Me want two parties, red, blue. It's a comfort movement. And we can't blame Chaka because Chaka is still a necessary part of this journey. Very important. You will be king of your Chaka. You will be Khan of your Chaka. You will be the Chaka. You are the Chaka Khan. You are the Chaka Khan. You must have said Chaka 100 times, James, maybe 200. Chaka proud. Chaka proud that we can count now. Chaka proud that we count how many times we say Chaka. Chaka become Chaka Khan, more witness come from others who say Chaka's name. Chaka's name live forever. Anyway. All right. I'm going to go. I'm going to rest my little palate here before my my next feat. I appreciate you guys, and thanks for being here. Sorry I missed you Monday. Can't wait to get it to get this next one out though. And yeah, have a good one, people. Get out there and do your Chaka, get your Khan on, and yeah, go for that side boob. You know, what's the worst that can happen? You get thrown in jail for assault. I mean, you know, and then they'll give you a PCR and you'll be, you know, wearing a mask and be vaccinating you, and you'll be questioned on why you don't have skinny jeans, and, you know, hey, what's the worst that can happen? See, it's the point is not to eliminate risk. No. That risk allows you to understand, who is this person? Who is this boob that I'm touching in the dark? I know everything now. I know everything about this person, right? Yeah, the side boob is just that good for no reason. You get it. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I hope you open your crown Chaka. I love it, fungamungus. I have opened my crown Chaka. You guys open your crown Chaka, okay? And we'll see you next time. Chaka, like horse. Chakabella. It's